Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel, or good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. I just arrived home from my 3-day women's conference called Women Evolve, and it was a truly life-changing experience, and so I want to give you some details, some of my takeaways and my experience. They had an amazing lineup of so many incredibly anointed, powerful women who just spoke truth and life over us, and it was truly just amazing 3 days. So I'm going to go a little bit more into context on some of them, and I will be including clips as well so you can see some things that we've gone over. On day 1 was Dr. Anita Phillips. I'll put a picture of her and I up here. She had a book signing, and I purchased this book and I've already been reading it. It's a great read. She's a trauma therapist. She has a podcast. She's an author, and she's a phenomenal speaker. She gave a message on mother wounds. And basically, this details the fact that there has been an affliction on women since the time of the garden when Eve ate the fruit when she was tempted. She went on to detail some of the ways you can clash against your own mother, whether it be a personality clash, her not prioritizing you, having no privacy. So she gave a lot of good context about some of those mother wounds, and fighting against your own mom is actually not the battle you're fighting. There are generations of things that could have been going on leading up until your mother. Whatever the mother's, problems were herself, her own sins, her own strongholds became wounds inflicted upon you.
And your great-great-grandmother, but God sent me here to tell you tonight, stop tussling with her and serve somebody. Was she a drug addict? Go volunteer at the drug addict clinic. Was she mentally ill and homeless? Go volunteer at the homeless shelter. Go become a counselor and serve somebody. Was she poor? Go give to the poor. Was she alone? Go sit with somebody. Was she scared? Go hug somebody. Serve!
Now, day 2, there was a woman who spoke. Her name is Sheryl Brady, and she gave a message on surrendering to the assignment. She referenced from Judges 6 in Gideon, the mighty man of valor. She gave a great message, and I'll give you some of the takeaways. She mentioned about walking in your purpose, and that when you're actively serving the Lord, anything that the enemy means for harm, he will turn for your good. The word for the event was surrender. That was the theme, surrender. And she mentioned that with each new level you go to within your life, it's going to take a deeper level of trust and a deeper level of surrender and faith to step into the assignment God's called you. She spoke a lot about destiny, about being chosen, and Gideon was chosen. In the scripture, it says that many are called, but few are chosen. When you're chosen by God, you have to understand that people will like you, others will not like you. And she spoke about this in her message. There are people who will dislike you for no reason other than the fact that you're serving the Lord. You have the light of Jesus living inside of you. And so when you're on assignment, when you're chosen, you have to remove the concept of what people think of you, because you're honoring God. And God will raise up people who he knows will not become arrogant. However, you have to understand that God will hide what is valuable. Until he decides to bring you to the forefront, you'll be hidden. And that's something that you have to accept. You're not going to go immediately out. He's going to hide you because you're highly valuable to him. And so you have to surrender to that. Every chosen one in the Bible had to first be hidden. Like David, he was a shepherd boy working in the field. He wasn't even considered. Yet, when asked, do you have another son? He said, oh yeah, My other one's out in the field. He wasn't even considering his son David until the person asked, do you have another son? David was chosen, but he wasn't even put in the race. Now on day 3, Sarah and her husband Torre gave some closing statements. Torre's message was about surrender. Again, this was the theme of the entire 3 days. What he spoke about was that the enemy loves to get you in a mindset of lack.
I'm observing the wind. I'm observing the wind. The wind is deceptive. Devil, you don't hold the wind. Last I checked, my God. Isn't that like the devil? Gonna threaten you with something that don't even belong to him. A liar from the beginning.
And Torre gave a prophetic word that the Lord had given him. And this was to break chains off of us. And it was this concept that there have been scales on our eyes, basically allowing us to accept mediocrity. And he just gave a prophetic word, like those scales are going to fall from your eyes. Because when you're living for Christ, he has good things in store for you, beyond anything you could ask, think, or imagine. Your cup will overflow. You'll be the head and not the tail. God is a God of overflow. Sarah gave an amazing closing statement of, these 3 days you've been here are just 3 days out of your life. You have to go home to your regular life. You have to go home to your occupation. You have to go home to your husband. You have to go home to your family. You have to go home to your life. But you have to take what you learned here. You have to carry it out into your everyday life. I hope you enjoyed this message about Woman Evolve. If you are looking for a way to grow in your faith, especially as a woman of faith, I would highly encourage you to go to Woman Evolve. I don't know about men's events in the same way, but I am sure there are a lot of great men's conference where you can find a lot of good life-giving information as well. So I would highly encourage you to take the time to invest in that kind of spiritual practice. I promise you, you will walk in one way, you will walk out another way. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a like, a thumbs up, drop a comment, make sure that you subscribe. I post videos every other Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.